see everybody here today, and we all I trust and know that we're all here to serve God. Each and every one of you has shown your faith and your desire to do God's will. We struggle. All of us struggle. All of us fail from time to time. But we need to pick ourselves back up. We need to continue as long as God gives us the breath of life to remain faithful to Him. Bruce read a story that we're all familiar with. And you might think that I'm going to spend the lesson on this story. And I'm not. But I want to start with this story and then make an application in our lives today. When we read about the problem that the nation of Israel was facing at this time, they were doing battle with the Philistines, and it seemed like that the Philistines were just too powerful. They had this giant, Goliath, and he stood out there for 40 days threatening and saying, come, I'll fight anybody. Well, how tall was this man? If we take the 6 cubits in a span, translate it into what we understand today, it was 9 feet 4 inches. Or another way of translating it may have been 11 feet. Whichever, he's pretty tall. His armor weighed 180 pounds. Now, how many of us could go out and just pick up that armor and hold it in front of us? He was a powerful individual. And here's young David. Now, David had taken care of his father's sheep and killed the bear and the lion. So he had some experience in fighting, but he was small in comparison to this giant. And every day this giant said, come, fight me. If I win, then you will be servants of the Philistines. But if you win and kill me, then we will be your servants. Now, I don't think that the giant had any second thoughts. I think he was saying to himself, there's no one that can defeat me. And when this young man, David, comes up and comes out there and, all he's got is this few rocks and this slingshot. Have you ever tried to use a slingshot? They're not easy. It's hard to be accurate with something like that. But David had experience in the sense that that was what he used in protecting the sheep. And as I think about all of this, I think there is an application for us today. When we think about the Goliath of today and the Davids of today, who are we thinking about? Who are we talking about when we talk about the Goliaths today? Well, let's talk about the power that people have. Look around us today and look at all the things that are going on in the world. And look at the power. Look at what's happening throughout our societies today. And you can see that we face giants ourselves. There are giants today that have power, and I tell you, they do threaten us. Look in the public schools. Look in different aspects of employers today. When I taught public school, this was back in Georgia, I was not allowed to even bring up God in class. If I did, I could lose my job. Now, I found a way around it. I would word things such that a student would bring up God. And if a student did it, then I had to answer him. So, but here's what I'm saying. If the school system is saying God is out, and they rolled out prayer many years ago, what is happening to our children today? We are facing Goliaths in the school system that we're having to deal with and help our children to grow up understanding what they need to do to serve God. Radio, TV. You turn on the TV today and look at what's happening. The Goliaths that are out there in the movies and the TV shows. It's rampant in our society. And it's difficult now to even turn on the TV without seeing something that deals with homosexuality or that deals with nudity or deals with other things going on. And that's the influence of Hollywood. And they're powerful. They control these things to the extent that we are weak in comparison. Well, I could go on and on and on about all of this going on. But the brainwashing that we have, that we're having to face, is just rampant. There are people that says there are no God today. They look around us and they say, well, all of this just happened. Now, it took millions of years, but it just happened. This slimy little pool over here, all these cells kind of came together and eventually developed into what we are today. And we have to deal with that. Evolution is growing, the teaching of evolution today. There is absolutely no right or wrong in our society today. If you want to live with somebody out of wedlock, or if you want to, live with the same sexual partner that you are, if you want to do these things, what's happening? They're saying it's okay that we can do this. There is no authority that says, I can't do what I want to do. And we're seeing that in the abortion issue daily. We're seeing the issues that are coming forth that are saying a woman has the right to make a decision about her body. And if she wants to take the life of the fetus that is in her, that is alive, she has that right. So they're saying that there's no right or wrong, really. And drugs. Drugs are so rampant. And what do our children have to face? If they hang around with certain people, what are they going to? They're going to receive the understanding that, oh, it's okay to do this. It's not going to hurt you. And all of these things that are going on. And then the passage in the Bible that is misunderstood and misapplied. Turn with me over to Matthew, the 5th chapter. In the Sermon on the Mount, when Jesus is talking about the judging that we are to do, and I'm sorry, it's chapter 7. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. Chapter 7, verse 1. Do not judge so that you will not be judged. For in the way you judge, you will be judged, and by your standard of measure it will be measured to you. Why do you look at your speck that is in your brother's eye, and do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. But what they will say is, verse 1, do not judge, so that you will not be judged. They take it out of context and make an application that no matter what other people are doing, we can't judge them. That is their prerogative. That is what they do. That is the giants in our society that we're facing. And they're coming after Christians all the time. Satan is using all of these tools to get us to turn away from God and to serve Him. You see what we're facing? Well, the giant is persistent. Goliath didn't give up. He kept on for 40 days. But look at David. David was weak. As far as any physical strength, size, experience, age, armor, he didn't have any of this to speak of. And those things of his size, his ability in fact, he told Saul, I can't even wear this armor. He went out there facing Goliath without that armor to protect him. And he was despised. What did Goliath say? He called him a dog. Even his own brother despised him. And that's kind of the way we feel today in our society, isn't it? But look at David. As strong as Goliath was and as weak as he was in many ways in comparison, he was stronger in other ways. He had a deep love for God. He knew who was the person that he needed to serve. He loved God, and everything he did was based upon serving God. And he made mistakes. He fell. But one of the greatest Psalms in the Bible, Psalm 51, was written by David when he realized the wickedness that he had done with Bathsheba. Think about David. He is going out and facing this battle. And what are we doing today? We are facing these battles in the same way that David faced Goliath. We're being mocked. We're being ridiculed. We're being scorned, as David was when he walked up there to confront Goliath. What did David do? He had faith. Not only did he love God, but he trusted God. He had faith that God would help him be victorious. He walked into tremendous danger. But that didn't stop him. What are we facing today in our society? Danger all around us. Is it going to stop us? Is our faith strong enough today that when we get up in the morning and we go about our daily activities, are we strong in saying that whatever trials, whatever things that come my way, I have God on my side. And God will protect and see me through as he did David. What is the thing that we need to do today? One of the greatest things is that God can use us in our weaknesses. We each have talents of one kind or another. We each have abilities. Now the church is made up of different individuals. Romans, the 12th chapter, talks about those of faith and those of strength in different areas. When we come together, some of us can do one thing, others can do something else. But we work together. And this little church in this area can be a strong influence upon the whole community, reaching out far and wide. Do we have the faith that God will use us, that God will help us, that God will unite us to work together so that we can overcome the Goliaths of our day? Philippians 4 and verse 13, Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That didn't mean that he could fly a jet or he could do this or that. But I can do all things as a Christian, as a servant of God, through Christ, not myself, not in my weaknesses, but through Christ who strengthens me. Paul, if you want to think about a David in the New Testament, think of Paul. Here he is, a Jew, and he turns away from that once he sees Christ on that road to Damascus. Once he obeys Christ, when Ananias came to him 3 days later and he was baptized, he turns and goes out all over Asia and Europe, being threatened, being stoned, left for dead, traveling through all of this area for one purpose only: to spread the gospel, particularly among the Gentiles. And his goal, which he accomplished through Christ, was to reach even Rome and the government there. David versus Goliath. We need to think about what we can do today in our society. We've come all from different pasts. We've come with different talents. But we all have Christ. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We can preach and teach and be a light to everybody around us and help them to come and see Christ. There's a t-shirt that I have, and it says basically, Lord, here am I, use me. Who said that in the Bible? Isaiah was a prophet of the Lord, but he also had obstacles. He had all these situations that he had to face. You want to talk about Goliaths? Look at his life and what he had to face. But he didn't stop. He preached the message of God. And he said, how long, Lord? And the basic answer that the Lord gave him was, until there is no one else. Until you have gone and preached and taught everybody. Our mission doesn't stop when we reach out and we help one person or convert one person, and we say, well, look, what a good job we've done. Our mission is continual to serve God. David, after he had defeated Goliath, continued to fight for Israel and do what God wanted him to do. Are we going to stand with the giants and let the world control us? Or are we going to be a David? Are we going to join with all these large numbers of people that are ridiculing God and don't care about the Bible? Or are we going to pick up the Bible every day and say, this is the book that controls my life, and I'm going to read it, I'm going to study it, and I'm going to know that I will depend upon God to help me through each trial, because it's written right here in His Word. We talked about the Roman Empire in our class, the book of Revelation. Probably the greatest empire that has ever existed. As far as how far it spread out, the control that it had, and yet they were defeated. Oh my God. And we need to remember that no matter what happens in our country, no matter what happens in the world today, that we have the most powerful God that can overcome anything in this world today. Where's our faith? Where's our trust that we can turn to Him? He created it. He gave us all life. He controls everything. And He will help us to defeat the Goliaths around us. If there's anyone here this morning that is subject to the invitation of our Lord, won't you come as you stand and as we